Welcome, and thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Kiana Faircloth. That's right, folks, we're back with another episode of Studio 901, and we are excited to continue spotlighting local, emerging, and established artists that are creating right here in the DMV. With us, you'll discover some of the area's greatest treasures, some of our best-kept secrets, and hear some never-before-told stories about living the creative life. And if you don't know, this show is DCTV's greatest exploration of the art that is among us. A self-proclaimed people watcher, dreamer, and lover of philosophy, Deborah Bond, pronounced Deborah, credits Anita Baker, Shaka Khan, and Sade as the roots which shaped her sound. Her unique and eclectic mix of R&B, funk, and British soul receives accolades from critics, artists, and fans worldwide. The debut album, Day After, and the follow-up release, After Day, solidified Deborah Bond's reputation as an intensely sensitive, spiritual, genuine artist and a funky diva with captivating stage presence. Deborah Bond and her dynamic band have been performing as a collective for 10 years, giving them a pure and genuine chemistry. The live show will take you in many musical directions with dynamic hits, musical peaks, and extreme showmanship. The Power Unit has performed at some of the top music venues around the U.S. and abroad, mostly receiving a standing ovation at DC's legendary Howard Theatre. Her collective made their UK debut on the opening night of the 2012 Summer Olympics, headlining London's Jazz Cafe. Other venues include the Strathmore, Warner Theatre, Capitol Jazz Festival, Merriweather Post Pavilion, Luanda Jazz Festival, Angola Luanda, that is, among many others. Deborah Bond has shared the stage with many of the hottest acts in soul music, including Kim, Lettucey, and Raheem Devon. Deborah Bond and her band production team, Third Logic's much anticipated third installment, Madame Palindrome, debuted to rave reviews from the U.S. and abroad. This album is a confident, bold, artistic, and imaginative statement. The concept for Madame Palindrome emerged as an intellectual, artistic, and introspective musical experience, featuring songs inspired by an array of musical genres, ranging from psychedelic disco funk to acoustic soul R&B. Deborah and her band Third Logic take pride in creating music that has no boundaries and goes beyond age, race, or creed. Joining me today on Studio 901 is soul singer extraordinaire Deborah Bond.
Hey, girl.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is great. Thank
Absolutely.
You. Yeah.
One of our standard questions here on Studio 901 is, at what age did you start creating music, or did you get that musical bug?
I had the musical bug, honestly, since birth.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
Since I can remember my memories, I have really been a musical spirit. I started writing actual songs and crafting poetry when I was about 9 or 10 years old. And I was really shy with it when I was a kid, so.
Did you play an instrument as well, or?
I did play piano for like maybe a year. I was one of those kids that drove my parents crazy because I wanted to play the piano, got bored with it for a year, wanted to do karate, took that
Right.
for a year. So I did piano just for a very brief time. I really wish I would have stuck with it, but yeah.
Who were some of your earlier influences music-wise?
Man, I mean, I am a 70s baby, 80s kid, so I was definitely a part of the MTV generation. Everybody from Prince to Stevie Wonder to Lionel Richie to the Eurythmics. And then there is the music of my household, which was a lot of funk and soul, P-Funk, Parliament Funkadelic,
Yeah.
Bootsy, stuff like that. So those are like the very, very early memories. But the MTV took over my life by the time I was like 7, and everybody on MTV was cool to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we had good choices back then.
When did you decide that you wanted to be a singer, that had to be a part of your life and purpose?
That did not really solidify itself for me until right around college, around 21, when I was kind of wrapping up schooling. I At that point, I knew I really needed to be more serious about it. I was taking voice lessons in school. I was studying vocal performance. I was actually majoring in journalism, so I really kind of wanted to do hosting and things like that. But music was my minor, and around that time, I started meeting so many musical people in the Washington, D.C. area. And I was just inspired by the people that I was meeting, and, you know, getting together with those creative minds. It really helped bring me out of my shell, per se. I was already kind of blossoming a bit, but coming to know a lot of artists that had the same thinking as me and the same taste as me, it opened it all up.
Yeah. Now, your sound is just a melting pot, if you will, of different genres of music. How would you describe the Deborah Bond sound?
It really is a melting pot. You know, it's really tough to give it like any kind of categorical box, because myself and the three individuals that I create with, Third Logic, peace to them out there in the world, we all come from different musical backgrounds, and then we have some things in common. So we all bring our taste to the table. So for me, it was the classic R&B, the soulful stuff. But then with the guys, it's everything from go-go to gospel to classic soft rock to Bach, everything. So it's really hard to lump it all together. We just have a soul root. That's the root, is the soul of the music. You know, it's the soulful sound. But
no labels.
No
just
labels.
Soul.
Yeah, just soul,
and
man.
Funk.
Yeah. We gotta keep it funky.
Absolutely.
It has to have a little.
That's a requirement.
Tinge of funk. Yeah, a little stank. You know,
a little stank.
Little stank on it.
I like that a lot. So you're not from DC originally,
No,
right?
no.
But you have sort of developed this sound. You know, wherever you go, you seem to pick up a little piece of something and add it into your music. Talk about that a little bit as a musician.
Man, I mean, I'm from New Haven, Connecticut, born and raised, moved to DC for college, and just fell in love with the city and fell in love with the fact that when I moved here, the bands were really thriving. I mean, people think DC and they think politics, but when I moved here, I thought, like, you had the go-go bands doing their thing. You had Rare Essence, you had Junkyard, Backyard, all that. But then you also had like the groups like Fertile Ground.
Yes.
You had groups like Divine Nature, and there was collectives of poets. It was just a really cool time in music, like in the late 90s. So that just immediately inspired me, and I started to like just eat up that live, the percussiveness as well. Like DC is just known for that drive and percussion, that
heartbeat.
That heartbeat, because the go-go is here. So I completely attached to that. But because I'm a sponge and I'm a musical spirit, everywhere I go, I mean, whether it's in DC, but I'm going to see an orchestra play, now I'm going to leave that event thinking, how can I incorporate some strings?
Yeah.
So everywhere I go, I try to let the music touch me and let it influence me. I'm not really afraid to take risks, and so DC was just the beginning. I mean, I've fallen in love with DC, and they've really embraced me as their own here musically. So of course I'm going to rep that percussive DC sound. But any given space or place, you never know. I mean, we've got Latin funk in there. We've got a little, Pink Floyd kind of psychedelic in there. So it's wherever we want to go. But the places that I like to wander to, I take a little something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, when we return, we'll talk to Deborah Bond about her new personal journey that she's about to embark on as a full-time artist. Stay close. We'll be right back. This is Studio 901.
Keeps me We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple, just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. Many of the future doctors who will care for us, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country, can be your kids. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education.
Welcome back to Studio 901. I'm chatting with soul singer Deborah Bond. So, Deborah, you're just embarking upon something, you know, really big, professionally and personally. You are now officially a full-time artist.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Oh, I mean, it's I just decided to take a really big step in the last few weeks. I've been working in satellite radio for 9 years, and
Wow.
I love it. I've always loved just having that type of connection to music. It's what I studied. But of course, inside, my passion and dream has always been to sing and sing as a professional. So 2015, I think I started this year saying to myself that, you know, I have to follow my passion. I have to really seek my purpose.
Yeah.
And the more aggressively I started to really think that, speak it out loud, and work towards it, the more I started to see that, like, there's no choice but to, like, go full and just go full in. So.
And you know, it's funny, like when you make a decision about what you want to do with your life, opportunities start to pour in, right? Right? Tell us
yes.
about those opportunities.
First of all, let me tell you this. I always tell folks this story because I mean, it's just the truth of the matter. One random day, I went nuts cleaning my house. I then had a cleaner come clean my house after I went nuts and cleaned my house.
Okay.
Then I bought a little bundle of sage, and I lit the sage. And I don't know if a lot of people, you know, Native American culture, burning of sage is like a cleansing. It's kind of a spiritual thing. And I basically just waved the sage in places in my home, and I spoke things out loud. And one of the things I kept speaking over and over again was creativity and passion and travel. Creativity and passion, travel. My voice is gonna take me places. It's gonna take me places. Within probably a week of doing that and like kind of settling in my spirit and saying, this is really it's gonna happen. Things are gonna just manifest. Just watch. I got a call to go to Amsterdam to do some voice work for a company there. Within maybe another month, I get a call from a musical friend who says, I'm a part of this residency in Doha, Qatar with the Jazz at Lincoln Center. And they are looking for singers like you to come over here and do their thing. I recommended you. And before I know it, there's an offer on the table. And the crazy thing is, really, when I was doing all this saging and all this stuff, I had really been telling myself, it's time to leave the day job, Deborah. It's time to leave the day job. So I was already kind of giving myself a pep talk to really just embrace it. And that pep talk was saying, okay, my voice is gonna allow me to travel. It's gonna allow me to do the things that I love to do without that paycheck.
Yeah.
And then I get this call, and it's set for right when I'm planning to leave my job. It's like perfect timing. So
Like
and it's
confirmation.
Jazz at Lincoln. Confirmation. And it's Jazz at Lincoln Center, which coincidentally, working in satellite radio, I did a lot of production work for New York's Jazz at Lincoln Center.
Right.
Just through working for a jazz station and radio. So it's like, for me to leave radio and to walk into a situation with Jazz at Lincoln Center's brand is an interesting coincidence when I've been working for them for so many years. And now I get to really be singing for them. So it's just, it's really kind of cosmic how it's all playing out right now, but I'm excited about it. And I can't wait to see what it's like in another part of the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as a full-time artist and singer, what do you want to do beyond singing? Do you want to be songwriting for other people besides yourself? Like, Where else do you want to go musically?
Musically, I am like, I'm all over the place. I really enjoy writing for others. I'm already now beginning to work on duets for some folks.
Awesome.
And folks are hitting me up, which is kind of an honor for another artist to feel like they can come to you and trust you with their art. So I've been already beginning to write for others. And I also do coaching. I coach young children and actually some adults too on their voice and how to, to sing and vocal technique. And so music, as long as there's music in the midst, I plan to kind of stretch it out, do some writing, do some mentoring and vocal coaching. I do a lot of voiceover work. So continuing to do voiceovers for companies and wherever I can get in and fit it. If it's music, I'm there. Hosting shows, I mean, all of that. Yeah.
And the thing about the technology age that we live in now, you don't have to necessarily be stationary to do your thing.
That's
like your
right.
vocal lessons.
Yeah.
Skype.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. And I've taken full advantage of that, and I feel like I'm just going to keep running with that. I mean, the sky is the limit. I'm just telling myself that the sky is the limit.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Now, we know social media has a big impact on the life of a musician, and you are no stranger to social media.
girl.
I see you on there all the time doing your thing. How
Yeah.
has that helped build you and your brand as a musician, as a soul funk singer?
I will have to be honest and say it's been a tremendous help, especially in the last 2 to 3 years, where I'm really becoming more adjusted to how my fan base likes to communicate with me. I am all over everything. I'm on Facebook, Periscope. Now I'm new on the Periscope for a while. Not Snapchatting yet, maybe one day, but Twitter and Instagram, all of that, I'm about it. I pretty much, I feel like who needs a reality show when you can just, I mean, if you're following me, you are following me.
Yeah.
I really take you everywhere along for the ride. I try to keep it as positive as I can, and music, keep it really about music. I don't go on social media talking about my personal life too much, unless it's music in my personal life. But it's been like tremendous. I mean, even announcing that I'm leaving my job,
I was there. I watched.
Yeah.
And I was like, when you made the first announcement, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, for some reason, I was on Twitter and I ran across your tweet. I was like, let me click on
Yeah.
Periscope. I'm not even on Periscope.
Right.
But I clicked on it and I was like, oh my God, she's leaving her job.
I mean, the response was nuts. I mean, everything, it's like they're just along for the ride with me, and I really appreciate it. I mean, I would encourage every artist that if you're not shy, I mean, if you are, you better hire somebody to jump on your social media for you. But if you're not shy, get out there and promote yourself. People are looking, they're listening, they want something to connect to. That's why these are thriving so much. So I use it to the fullest, and I will continue to.
All right.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep that brand in people's faces, you know? When we return, we'll come back and talk more with Deborah Bond about what her future looks like and how this music industry is changing. Stay right there. You're watching Studio 901.
Every single moment it occurs to me more and more how grateful I should be for grace and for love. I almost start crying when I think of the little things. We never take the time. We underestimate what's going on. Sometimes I get a startling joy. The light comes on and sadness is destroyed. I even have the nerve to wonder where you've been. It quickly leaves my mind soon as
I'm Drew Brees, and being a dad means the world to me. And one of the most important things any parent can do is make sure their kids get active at least 60 minutes each day. Studies show that physical activity not only helps kids stay healthy, it can enhance important skills like concentration and problem solving, which can improve academic performance. This means physical activity can help your kids in the most important game of all, life.
Welcome back to Studio 901. I'm chatting with Deborah Bond, soul singer. Now, let's get right to it and talk about the future of Miss Deborah Bond in this ever-changing music industry. What does that look like for you? I know you're involved in a variety of different organizations and things.
Oh yeah, the future looks good. I'm affiliated with the Recording Academy. I am with DC's Recording Academy chapter. I'm on the board of governors. I'm Governor Deborah Bond. So I'm working in that world, dealing with the Grammy world, dealing with the Strathmore, being a past artist in residence. So I'll continue to work with them in the future. And adjusting to, honestly, just staying on top of things and adjusting to the ever-changing digital world that we're living in. It's still, for me, that word adjustment, like it's still really an adjustment for me, because I'm a purist. I'm all about live bands, and I don't really want to make my music too digital, too many buttons to press. I want to hear some stuff, and so I kind of stick to my guns in some ways and then adjust in some ways. I'm working on a new album right now, and even with the times changing, things change, but certain things will always remain the same. And I think soul music is just something that will always be necessary. We're in a time right now where there is so much going on in the world that I feel it's important in the future for these next few albums I have to put some good messages out there, to really talk about what's happening in the world and how it affects me personally and as a woman, all of that. So, continuing to create music, continuing to promote positive music, music that's clean, music that, inspires young people to do positive things with themselves. That's really, really important to me. So new music, a lot more collaborating. I've been doing a lot of collaborating in the last year or so. The group Incognito, much love to Bluey out there. I was featured on their last album, hoping to do more with them. And singer Frank McComb, my sister Mesa.
Nice.
Yeah, so lots of things, on the horizon as far as creating. And then just, staying up. I'm, of course, because I worked in radio, I do enjoy learning systems like Logic Pro and Pro Tools. And
So do you do your own production as well to an extent?
I'm starting to sneak a little of that in my life, but I still really leave it to the pros. Third Logic, my bandmates, they are my producers. I'll never really take that hat from them. I'm the singer and the vocal arranger, but I think I might want to, continue to grow with that so that I can really, have even more input on my sound. But
that's important.
Just staying true to myself.
Yeah, input on your sound, staying true to yourself. With that being said, how important is it to you to remain independent in your artistry?
That's really important right now. That's really, really important. The more I am in the business, the more I deal with artists, the more I talk to fellow artists, especially those that are like bigger than me. The advice that I am getting is to focus on my independence, try to keep it, especially if I want to make money. And it sounds crazy because you think, oh, big time artists, that's,
big
sign
label,
a deal.
Big money, hopefully.
Truth of the matter is a lot of them are broke. Fame does not equate to richness or money. And a lot of people of the world need to learn to understand that. So for me, my independence is important.
Do you think that it gives you a greater creative freedom by remaining independent?
Yes, like beyond, I've been told so many times to change something about my sound. I wrote a song about it, that it's just like, I want to do me. I understand what's in, but a lot of the time what's in will be out very soon. Some songs, Your Love is King, Sweetest Taboo,
timeless.
Sweet Love, those are timeless songs. I want music that's gonna last, that will pay the bills in the end.
That's right.
A one little piece of a not really hit that got a couple of little spins on the radio.
Because it was trendy at the time.
Because it was trendy. So for me, it's just staying true to who I am. I speak it out loud. I'm gonna keep speaking it. Soul is coming back. Soul, people are saying R&B is dead. No, soul music, R&B, it's coming back. There is going to be a soul revival. Just watch. I'm gonna be right on that wave.
I'm waiting for it myself.
Right, we need it, right?
Yeah, we do, especially in this time. Now, how can we get in touch with you, Miss Deborah Bond? How can we keep up with you and your travels and your music and all that good stuff?
Not hard to find, let me tell you. I am on Instagram and Twitter as Bora Bond. On Instagram, it's BORABOND. On Twitter, it's BORAHBOND. I have Deborah Bond Music on Facebook. I have a Tumblr page. I have Deborah Bond Music YouTube, where you can check out my music videos and some other crazy stuff. And I'm always active on social media. And you can go to DeborahBond.com for the the real website folks. You want a little interesting experience. I have an interesting website, so DeborahBond.com. But I'm out there. You can Google me.
You know I can't let you go without a little musical treat. Can you provide the Studio 901 audience with a little treat?
Okay, let me give you a little something. You give me a little soul snap.
Okay.
A little.
I can't help myself but feel connected when you're around. You make me wanna get on my knees and plant a seed in the ground. Your love is like the sunshine and you're the water. And every day we're getting stronger. As strong as the rhythm of time. And this time I'm so glad to say I got it right. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm so happy you're the one who found my heart. I can see your love light shine by the way you look at me. You make me feel so free. Man, a better life for me. You're the one that I live my whole life for, yeah.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. I hear that funk all up in there.
A little twang and stank in there, a little bit.
Yes, love the stank. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
now,
me.
tell us one more time how we can get in touch with you and keep up with all of your pursuits.
DeborahBond.com, Facebook, Deborah Bond Music, Instagram, Deborah Bond, Twitter, Deborah Bond, Tumblr, Deborah Bond, and Deborah Bond Music, YouTube.
We'll be right back. You're watching Studio 901 only on DCTV.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Thank you for tuning in to Studio 901. It's been so fun sitting down and talking with Deborah Bond. She is definitely someone to look out for because her star is rising beyond the skies and soon will burst all over the world for all of us to witness. Remember, Studio 901 spotlights emerging artists from all over the DMV that are creating and performing right in our own backyard. If you want to find out more about what you saw today, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at YourDCTV, or visit our website, dctv.org. Before you leave, I want to leave you with this quote from Spanish painter Pablo Picasso. The artist is a receptacle for emotions that come from all over the place, from the sky to the earth, from a scrap of paper, from a passing shape, from a spider's web. Join us for another episode of Studio 901, where we just might spotlight you. I'm Kiana Faircloth. Until next time.